Howdy. All right. Welcome, everybody. It is Chris Billette here from the Chris and Philly Functional Medicine Show. Doing a live, we're a bit behind today. Apologies for that. We promised 11. It's nearly 12. Never mind that. We are coming to you today about, we're going to talk about something that is really close to, it's really close to my heart. It's about getting your family on board. If you have a family, if you have a bunch of different obligations and commitments and things that you really want to do, but you're finding it hard to get your family on board with your healing journey, stick around. Today is going to be a really good show. I think you're going to pick something up, and hopefully what I'm going to get you hearing and learning, I hope it's really applicable and practical. So stick around. We're going to go over that. All right, guys. Hey, so welcome back. Chris Billette here from the Chris and Philly Functional Medicine Show, founder of the Power Parent Project, and I am on a mission to end burnout in parents in business. If you have an energy, mood, or gut issue, Chris and Philly Functional Medicine is our passion is helping you to get to the root cause of those health issues and be able to build out practical, achievable, bite-sized solutions so that you can be able to implement them and have more energy, have a better mood, and have more of a connection with your family and loved ones. Hey, so today what we're going to chat about is getting your family on board with your healing journey. So thanks for those of you who are tuning in. If you can, leave a comment down below. Tell me if you can hear me loud and clear. All right. Hey, so what's the big deal? Getting your family on board. Do you feel like any one of these challenges ring true to you? You don't have enough support. You feel like you're doing it all alone. You're doing it all on your own. It's all up to me. Do you feel like you're just not getting anywhere? You're spinning your wheels. You're not getting traction. You're just stuck. Do you feel like you're stretched thin? You might be saying something like this to yourself: it's never going to end. I don't want to mess up my kids. You might say something like, it's just too much. I want to, but I can't. Well, not yet. I just want to get through this period of time. If any of that rings true to you, I'd love to know. Maybe shoot us a direct message and just, get it off your chest. Let us know how you're feeling, or if you're feeling something else, let me know. Little segue here, you might notice I'm wearing my happy cap. Found my happy cap at a shop here in town in Devonport. If you've got one of these, we're twins. But sometimes we go through life and we don't have a happy cap on. We don't see things from a positive light. We see things through like negative glasses, negative lenses, a negative frame. When we look out the window, instead of seeing a bright, shiny future, we look out and it's all a dreary, frustrating, dark, angry place. And here I am wearing my happy cap. Who the hell am I, and why am I wearing a happy cap? I like to think, I can either choose to be positive, I can choose to be negative. I think it's important to accept that certain things are going on in your life right now. And I think getting your family on board to really do that, you've got to accept that things aren't the way you want them right now. Anytime you ignore that fact, anytime you ignore that and you pretend that things are positive, you pretend that things are going swimmingly and lovely. When I put my happy cap on, I'm not being delusional. I'm choosing that there is something positive that I can do today to make this seemingly dreary situation that I'm in into a positive situation. So that's what I'm talking about. I want to be able to turn all my situations that I've got going on right now into a positive. So that's what my happy cap means to me. It's turning things around to into a more positive, more actionable solution. So, I mean, what do we want when we're in this situation where things are frustrating, things aren't panning out the way we want them, or we want to embark on a lifestyle change or a set of behavioral changes, habits, but our partner keeps bringing home junk food, or our kids are not playing nicely together. How can we get the family to chip in, work together, and be nice? And there's a couple of myths here, right? There's a couple of myths that we know can play out, but sometimes we try and gloss over it, and we pretend that they aren't real. But the myth of they should know what I'm thinking. They should know. They should understand that it's not right. They need to know what I'm thinking. They need to do that. They should have learnt that lesson. They should understand that. But the myth is that they really don't think or see things the way you think and see. That's a big myth. Your husband doesn't think the way you think, and maybe your wife doesn't think the way you think either, dads. And your kids definitely don't think the way you think. Well, not yet, but they could. So how do we rectify that situation? How do we get everyone on board? Let's chat about that in a second. There's another myth. It's like the myth that you can do it alone. You've been trying that for a long time already. How's that going for you? If it's going all right, well, cool, awesome. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those of you, mums or dads. This is usually a mum conversation. I see my wife and my mum and my grandmum and other mums that I work with and know stereotypically tend to try and tough it out and go it alone. And in a moment, I'm going to talk about history, and it's quite interesting looking at the past and the present and having a projection of the future and where we're actually going in families. And the myth of you can do it alone, it's really interesting, because if you're really struggling and you're finding it hard to do it alone, well, you're not alone. You're not alone. Other people are going through this same experience as you, and you don't have to go it alone. You don't have to. You can if you want to, but you've tried that and you're trying that and it's not working out for you. So guess what? You don't have to go it alone. It's just, you've got this frustration. Well, how the heck do I do it? No one else cares. And that's a myth as well. No one else cares. That's a myth. People do care. They're just going about the things that they're going about life in a different way to you. They care about things. They see things in a different way. And hey, how about this? This one, you might hate me for saying this. Oh, gee. So you've been doing it alone so long and been doing such an awesome job. maybe your partner, maybe your husband, maybe your wife, maybe your kids, maybe they believe in you. Maybe they see you doing these things and think, she's got it, or he's got it, they've got it. I don't think they need to chip in because you don't ask for help. I'll probably butcher this statement, but have you heard that quote? It's what you allow. Oh man, what the heck is it? I butchered it. I knew I should have wrote this quote down. It's something along the lines of what you allow, you encourage. What you allow, you encourage. That's the one. Someone type in like what the actual quote is down below. But it's what you allow, you encourage. And if you are allowing kids to put their feet up on the table, if you're allowing your husband to do whatever he does, if you're allowing your wife to do whatever she does, if you're allowing these things to happen, you're encouraging it. And if you let's just use the word encourage for a while, if you encourage for a moment, if you encourage things, they're going to persist. They're going to last. They're going to happen. So if you're allowing things to happen, you're encouraging them to happen, and they're not going to change their state of happening until you make a decision. You stake your flag in the ground, and you put your fist by your side, and you lift your chin up, and you just say, "Hey, I'm drawing a line in the sand. I'm drawing a line, and this I've allowed this, but I'm not going to allow this anymore. I can't stand for this. This is a rule for me. I value, and the thing I'm going to say is based on my experience and my feelings, and I value what I'm about to say to you. Now, just know, the moment you draw a line on the sand, people want to step over it. The moment you erect a flag and just say, I claim this for the United States of Mumtopia, there's going to be a battle. There's going to be a war. So you've got to pick your battles. What's worth fighting for? What's worth fighting for? And when you pick your battles, when you know what you want to stand for, when you know what you want to fight for, then you can stick up for those things. And there's going to be some resistance. But you've got to meet that resistance with persistence. Back in the medieval times, there were guys who they had flags. You know those guys with flags? Let me see if I can do this. Bum-ba-da-bum. All right, that's not working. Let's go back to this. Okay, that didn't work. Let me see if this works. I'll be 1 second. I'm going to draw you a picture. Here we go. I think this works. Nope. Sorry, team. Won't be long. Let's see. Okay, that's not working. Let's go like this. Let's go. Hey, there we go. All right, cool. Though, back in medieval time, people had there was like armies and stuff. They didn't have walkie-talkies. They couldn't communicate long distances. So what they did is they had people who carried these flags. And they called them ensigns or standards. And they were emblazoned with, their coat of arms or whatever. And that meant something to people. It represented what they stood for and who they were, their lands and their people, their tribes. It kept people organized. it kept people oriented. And it kept people moving in the one direction. You know, there was sometimes tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands in some instances in battles. And they couldn't talk long distances with walkie-talkies and communication devices. They had to have a different way, and they used that by sight. And so they used these guys with the ensigns, the standards. They called these guys the standard bearers. And what they did is they held the flag up and they oriented and organized the troops. And so now that made them a target. There was a big, huge target on those people. The enemy wanted to attack them. They would fire arrows and they would fire missiles and stones and all this sort of stuff at the flag. And if that flag went down, the enemy knew this. If the flag went down, they would instead of being organized, the opposition would be disorganized. Instead of being oriented in the right direction, they would be disoriented. And so they knew that if they could fire into the middle of the crowd and knock down one of these standard bearers, get them to lose it, well, they would win the battle. So you need to make sure when you are going through your life that you can... You're gonna get into some battles with your kids, with your partner in life. I'm not talking about fisticuffs or violence or anything like that, but there's standards that you stand for. There's things that you are willing to draw a line in the ground and just say, hey, you shall not pass. This is the rule. And there's going to be some resistance. The enemy, you kids, your partner, husband, wife, whatever, they're going to, resist. And they're going to try and knock those standards down because they're comfortable. No one likes change. Human beings, we resist change. So when the line is drawn and the standards are erected, your family on the other side of that line, they want to stay there. And here you are saying, this is the new standard. This is the new rule. This is what I stand for. You've got to be willing, able, and ready. Willing, able, and ready to stand for those things. Willing, able, and ready. You got to be willing to fight for what you believe in. And I'm not saying with your fists at all. Not at all. Not at all. And not even with raised voice. You can fight your battles with hugs and kisses and love and peace. But the standard exists. The standard, the things that you are willing to fight for and stand up for. It might be as simple as the house needs to be clean, the dishes need to be done. All those things are things that you got to be willing, able, and ready to stand up for those things. Now, I promised that I'd talk about some history. A long time ago, women had no rights. They weren't allowed to vote. They had to be taking care of the home, taking care of the family. In the 50s, post World War II, in the 50s, with the feminist movement, women started to get more rights, more ability, and they rightfully were able to step up and do things which for millennia were the domain of men only. And it doesn't need to be like that. And I'm thankful that it's not like that anymore. I love that we're in the world that we're in right now. But it's important to understand the history of it. So if we look at life like a timeline, right? And here we are right now in this piece here. For all of this time, women had no rights. And now in this day and age, that looks like a smiley face. That was unintentional. The rights are there. And so we've got, fantastically, we've got women in business. We've got women in high political roles and leadership. We've got women. Is it who sings that? Who sings that song? Who runs the world? Girls. You know that song? Like, seriously, like, there's no reason why women can't rule the world. There's no reason. None. There's no reason why we need to judge based on gender, age, race. It's who's going to do the best job, and let's get that person in there doing it. And I'm invested in this revolution. I'm literally invested in it. I'm the dad of 2 daughters. I want to see a world where, and I see this. I see a world where girls can grow up and have a vision and a dream and have no resistance to meeting those dreams. I see a world where my daughters can go to work, can achieve what they want with no persecution. I see a world where my daughters can thrive with no pushback based on their gender. It all comes down to ability. I'm going to do my best as their dad to help them in my role as father, to instill the values that I believe in and ethics and all that sort of stuff. But I'm also going to work my butt off to help them have a world that's that allows them to thrive. So I'm invested in this. But the thing is, right now we're in this transition phase. This transition phase right here, where we've got women in leadership, we've got women running businesses, we've got women who are absolutely crushing it and killing it and being high performers. And then they come home to the dishes, to a mess, to arguments. And it's been so ingrained in our culture. And I'm talking about Australia. For those of you who are watching this from a different place, this might not be true to you, but this is just in Australia from my experience. We're in this transition period where it's we've got women in leadership roles, and in business, but then also they're also struggling in the home front. So how do we get your family on board? You have to start by accepting that, yes, it's fantastic. And I love that you're in business, and I love that you're a leader, and I love that you're doing something that you're passionate about. I think that's fantastic. That's so good and important. And I got your back, and I love that. You got to understand, though, what you've allowed will persist. And so for a long time, you've been running your house the way it's run, and your family's doing the things that they're doing because you've allowed it to happen, and you've permitted it. And so now it comes time that we need to look at that myth. They should know that I've worked hard today, so they should know that they need to do certain things. But that's a myth, remember? And now you're going to have to pick up your standard, erect it, and just say, fams, it's not acceptable to me. This is the way things are going to go from now on. I'm stepping up as a leader, and this is what's what's got to happen. But there's a few different types of leaders. So let's have a look at the different types. There's like the mean ones, the nasty ones, autocratic leaders, dictators. So there's the dictators, like, you got to do this. Oh, well, what if I don't want to? You'll die. And you might not say that to your kids, but you might say, you go to your room. You go to prison. I'll put you in a gulag. That's a dictator leader. There's been plenty of those, and they've been successful. Some of them, Genghis Khan, Adolf Hitler, Stalin, conquered the world. If you want to conquer your family like that, it's definitely possible. It's not my expertise, but you could probably read a book about it if you want to. That's an option, right? There's other ones. There's a democracy where everyone gets a vote. And if you live in Australia, New Zealand, we live in a democracy where we have elected leaders. So no one's elected you as mother or you as dad or your children as children. So it's not quite a democracy in that sense. But, there's certain things that people, like, you're in the role. Let's just call you elected for now. So I'm going to talk to you about running a democracy in your home. Now, you are the elected leader, so we're not debating whether or not you're the leader, because let's just say you are. All right, so you've stepped up and you're in that role as leader already. So we're not talking about having a debate on who is the leader in your home. You are, and in your cabinet you've got your partner. And so both of you are going to set the standards, set the rules. And as you do that, as you set the standards, set the rules, you don't want to be a dictator and force people to do what you want, right? So now's your chance to get your family on board. How do you do that? I feel like the best way to do that is, it's really practical. Having huddles. I call them family home evenings. And if you were to have a family home evening, let's just call it a FHE. When you have a family home evening, you call your family together and you all have a huddle, and you talk about things. You talk about what's coming up, what's important, and what's most meaningful to you. So when you call your family together and you huddle up, you make this a tradition, a meaningful tradition where you set standards. No battle is won without a plan. No war is fought without a strategy. No leader can embark on a system of change without support. And you're a leader. You're a leader in your family. You're a leader in your life. So now it's time to be and do what leaders do. So getting your team on board starts with a huddle. Getting everybody together. I recommend at least once a week. Checking in. So having a big, like a big deal, big one. Every week. And little ones daily. Apologize for my writing, and I'm not apologizing for my drawing because I think that's awesome. Look at that. So family home evenings, have a big one once a week, and then have little ones daily. And if that doesn't work for you, find something that will. But guys, if you are struggling to get your family on board, it means that you've allowed certain things to happen for a long time. And so what you allow, you encourage. What you allow, you encourage. Know that everyone's got a choice. Everyone has a choice. Your children have a right to not enjoy this experience. Your partner will have a right and an ability to not enjoy these changes as well. But when you can be a democracy and bring together your family as a leader, you can allow them to share their voice, share their opinions. And by you hearing their thoughts and their feelings, you're allowing them to see the way that they can allow you to share your feelings. You're teaching them. You're teaching your husband. You're teaching your kids that it's okay to have feelings. It's okay to dislike something. It's okay to be uncomfortable and frustrated. It's okay. And when you show them that you're okay with them being frustrated, they're going to learn that it's okay, that the other way around is okay as well. Guys, I hope this has helped. Family home evenings are a really cool thing to do. And isn't it about time that you get your family on board and that you step up into a leadership role in a democracy, not a dictatorship, and you understand that this is where you're at because you've allowed things to happen for a really long time. And so therefore you've, in a way, encouraged it. But it doesn't have to be like this forever. So if you want, I'm just letting you know that it's okay to not be satisfied with where you're at now, and you can make a change. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today for our live. Apologize, it was a bit late. Hopefully you picked something up. Leave a comment in the chat box below. One last thing, team. I just want to share with you on our website, you can jump on. We have an Ending Burnout live web class. We'd like to help you to transform your health and regain your life, show you how to step up and become a power parent. Go from feeling sick, tired, grumpy, stuck in the hustle, to being able to be a power parent. Because we are on a mission to end burnout in parents and business owners. Take good care, guys. Talk to you later.